In the heart of Italy, where the sun-kissed hills embrace the ancient cobblestone streets, lies a town where history, spirituality, and beauty converge. Welcome to Assisi. From the grandeur of the Basilica of St. Francis to the heights of Rocca Maggiore, I'll be your guide to this hidden Italian gem. So join me as we explore the best attraction and unravel the essence of Umbria. Andiamo! Let's go! Benvenuti ad Assisi. Welcome to Assisi. This weekend, we're visiting the Umbria region of Italy, and today we have arrived at the final stop of this trip, Assisi. Perched on a spur of Monte Subasio at an elevation of 400 meters, Assisi offers some truly spectacular scenic views. While the neighboring city, Perugia, boasts Etruscan heritage, Assisi was founded by Umbrians. However, what truly makes Assisi famous is its association with a remarkable figure, San Francesco d'Assisi, or in English, St. Francis of Assisi. Our first stop is the Basilica of San Francesco d'Assisi, one of the most significant religious sites in Italy. It's a major site of Catholic pilgrimage. With its immense size, the basilica is visible for miles around. Within the upper church of the basilica, you will find a renowned series of 28 frescoes by Giotto, vividly depicting the life of St. Francis. Born in 1181 in Assisi to a wealthy merchant, he was imprisoned during the war with Perugia. This was a life-changing event, leading him to renounce his possessions and establish the Franciscan order. St. Francis, the revered patron saint of Italy, not only founded the Franciscan order, but exemplified devotion to poverty. Construction of the basilica was started immediately after St. Francis' death in 1228, and it was officially completed after the addition of Gothic upper church, the Basilica Superiore, in 1253. Ever since the 13th century, pilgrims have flocked to Assisi, drawn to its spiritual aura, and in particular, the remarkable Basilica de San Francesco. Assisi, however, is not just for the religious devout. The basilica boasts such a remarkable collection of frescoes and paintings that it rivals many art museums. Our visit begins in the Romanesque lower church, which was constructed first. Its dimly lit and somber interior creates a reflective atmosphere, embodying the introspective spirit of Franciscan life. The highlight here, though, is the crypt, as you can find the tomb of St. Francis there. It actually remained hidden until 1818, when it was discovered after a 52-day dig. When they first discovered the tomb, an elaborate tabernacle was raised in the excitement of discovery. Later, in the 1920s, it was rebuilt, honoring Francesco's desire for a humble burial. From the lower church, we climbed up a set of steps that led us into a beautiful courtyard. From there, we entered the upper church, which is a stark contrast with its light and airy Gothic design. As I mentioned earlier, the highlight here is the series of 28 frescoes depicting the life of St. Francis. These frescoes, painted by Giotto and members from his school, have retained their vibrant colors and intricate details, even in the face of damage from the 1997 earthquake. Right, let's talk about the clothing that you have to wear when you come to visit Basilica di San Francesco. Obviously, your shoulder must be covered up, so no tank tops. And as for trousers or shorts, they say that if the shorts cover your knees, then you'll be okay. In practice, as long as it's not really short, in the hot summer, they seem to allow it. Do bring something longer if you can, then you don't have to wear trousers. We'll now take a stroll along Via San Francesco. This is the road that connects the Basilica de San Francesco with Piazza del Comune. It's lined with small stone buildings with boutique shops selling local produce, souvenirs, and of course, religious artifacts. We're now at Piazza del Comune, which is the main square of Assisi. This large open area is surrounded by some of the oldest and most important buildings in Assisi. The oldest building in the square is the Temple of Minerva, which dates back to the 1st century BC. With its 6 incredibly well-preserved Corinthian columns, it's easily the most attractive building in the square. Right, let's step inside the temple to have a look. This temple was dedicated to the goddess Minerva originally, but it was later transformed into a church known as Santa Maria sopra Minerva. Inside, the ornate altar and the intricate stucco decorations are truly captivating. Sitting right next to the Temple of Minerva is the Palazzo del Capitano del Popolo and the Torre del Popolo, and they were completed in 1282 and 1205 respectively. As you'll soon see, Torre del Popolo is well worth the climb. As we approached the top of the tower, we found these panels explaining the history of the bell. To commemorate the 600th anniversary of St. Francis' death, Italian cities were invited in 1925 to offer Assisi a bell with the lyrics of the hymn Canticle of the Sun inscribed on it. The song was composed by St. Francis in 1225. Historical photos also show how the bell was hoisted into place, followed by its inauguration by King Victor Emmanuel III. It was hard enough to walk up here. I couldn't imagine how they lift the bell up all the way. Well, that's it, we're at the top. While here, you can see the bell. From the top, you'll be treated to stunning panoramic views of the entire town, as well as the surrounding countryside. Next, we are going to visit the Duomo, or the Cathedral of San Rufino. The facade is the typical 3-tier Umbrian design. This cathedral is important as this was where St. Francis and St. Clare were baptized. The interior of the cathedral might not captivate everyone, but it holds significant historical value. The most notable feature is the baptismal font, where St. Francis and St. Clare were baptized. Since we just talked about St. Clare, we'll visit Basilica di Santa Chiara. It's a basilica in Gothic style, built just a few years after the death of St. Clare. She was one of the early followers of St. Francis, and she founded the Order of Poor Ladies, which was a religious order for women in the Franciscan tradition. If you look at the facade, does it look like somewhere we visited already? Yes, the design is almost a carbon copy of the upper church of Basilica di San Francesco. Let's head inside to have a look at this Basilica di Santa Chiara. The interior is strikingly simple, reflecting St. Clare's devotion to a humble life. Make sure you visit the crypt, where she was buried and her remains are preserved. Look out also for the Byzantine cross that is said to have spoken to St. Francis. This is a beautiful basilica, and from where it sits, Piazza Santa Chiara, you get a beautiful view of the countryside and a small part of Assisi. Right, I think we've seen enough cathedrals and basilicas in one day, so let's switch it up and head to something a bit different next. For an even better view of Assisi and the surrounding countryside, we are going to take a short hike up to the massive Rocca Maggiore, a medieval fortress perched on a hill. As you can see, it's high up there and you have to walk a lot of steps up, but the view will be worth it. If you want to come up here to Rocca Maggiore, but you can't or don't want to walk up here yourself, there is that bus. Rocca Maggiore actually dates back to Charlemagne, who is supposed to have raised the first defensive walls here after sacking the town. The structure that you can see now, with the towers, the turrets and parapets, was constructed by Cardinal Albornoz in the 14th century to intimidate the townspeople. Criminals would be hung from the battlements or thrown out of a castle window into the ravine. There is an admission charge to go inside. Even though there is no exhibition in there, it's still worth coming up here for the all-embracing views, taking in Assisi, Perugia and the Vale of Spoleto across to Montefalco. If you enjoyed the video so far, please hit the like button below. I really appreciate the support. Don't forget to leave a comment to let me know what you think of Assisi. And please share this video with your friends and family to help spread the beauty of Assisi. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Now that we've covered the main sites in Assisi, I'm going to show you a couple of other nearby gems in Umbria that are definitely worth a visit. First up, we're heading to the charming medieval town of Trevi. We're now at Trevi, which is a village perched upon the pyramidal hill of Monte Serrano and encircled by miles of olive groves. It has the most amazing appearance of any town in Umbria. This town has nothing to do with Trevi Fountain in Rome though. It was just named like the fountain from the fact that Treviae, 3 roads, met here. Welcome to Trevi. Trevi is a small town with no major tourist sites, but its charm lies in wandering the quaint streets and soaking up the relaxed atmosphere. The heart of the town is Piazza Mazzini, where you'll find the town hall and a bell tower. From here, you can explore any of the surrounding streets. We decided to head uphill and reach the Duomo de Sant'Emiliano, a 12th century church with a 16th century neoclassical interior. There are other churches to see, but we decided to move on to our next town. Spello is a charming hill town known for its well-preserved medieval architecture and picturesque streets. As we wander through the narrow winding alleys, we spotted ancient arches and stunning stone buildings, which really adds to the charms of the town. Every corner of this town offers something beautiful to discover. We did stop by the Church of Santa Maria Maggiore, and this isn't just another church. It's renowned for its Baioni Chapel, home to Pinturicchio's stunning fresco cycle. Recently restored, these frescoes are vibrant and detailed, capturing 3 key scenes about Madonna and Jesus. The left fresco depicts the Annunciation, where the angel Gabriel announces to Mary that she will bear the Son of God. Then the central frescoes shows the Nativity, capturing the birth of Christ. And on the right, you have the Adoration of the Shepherds, beautifully rendered with Pinturicchio's characteristic elegance. The chapel also features an intricate ceramic floor from 1566 and is protected by glass, as you can see. Wow, we're really lucky. The Chiesa closes at 5 o'clock and we came in at 4:59 and they let us come in. Well, actually, they stay open for another 5 minutes. Well, now that we have finished seeing Santa Maria Maggiore, we're gonna check out this gelateria, Amandola. So we just got the gelato here. It's very good. To wrap up our visit to Spello, we're visiting yet another church, Chiesa di Sant'Andrea. In small Italian towns, churches often stand out as main attractions because they historically served as community and spiritual centers, filled with significant art and history. Inside this church, you'll find more frescoes, including works by Pinturicchio. Before we return to Assisi, we've got one more stop, and that's Gubbio, a town rich in history and tradition. It's best known for the Festa dei Ceri, a centuries-old event held annually on 15th of May. The festival features 3 teams racing through the town, each carrying a towering wooden chero, or candle in English, dedicated to their respective saints. But today, we're here for something unique, the Funivia Quale Eletto. Instead of an enclosed cable car, this funivia is like a glorified ski lift that whisks you up the steep hillside in a hanging metal basket. At the top, we'll check out the Basilica di Sant'Ubaldo, which houses the preserved body of the town's patron saint, Sant'Ubaldo. However, the real highlight is the Funivia experience itself. an unforgettable way to take in the panoramic views of Gubbio and its surroundings. Wow. Wow, we just tried the Funivia Colle Eletto. That was so much fun. From the top, you get the most amazing view of Gubbio. Wow. We are now at Basilica di San Tubardo. While the main reason is to use the ski lifts, we're actually here, so we might as well look at the Basilica. Unfortunately, there's a mass happening at the time, so we couldn't really explore it in detail. But I think I've seen enough basilicas anyway, so let's head back down. Earlier, when we were going up, I looked back and I saw the view was amazing. So let's see how it looks like. Ooh. We got in. Okay, ready to go. Wow, that was exciting. Right, let's drive back to Assisi because we've got dinner reservation at a very scenic place. For dinner, we have booked a table at La Terrazza del Popezio. Why did we do that? Just look at the wheel there. You do have to call well in advance to do that. I called them 4 or 5 days ago and make sure we get a table just by the balcony because then you get this amazing sunset view. Wow, so our meal has arrived at this beautiful restaurant. Steve has got the gnocchi today. And I have got some new pasta. I already forgot the name. As we sit on this balcony, watching the sunset over Assisi, the Umbrian countryside unfolds before us in hues of gold and amber, painting a picture that feels almost unreal. It's moments like these that make it easy to see why we've grown so fond of Assisi. It's not just the history or the architecture, it's the peaceful, timeless beauty that makes this town unforgettable. We just finished dinner and we're now walking back to the hotel. Look at the atmosphere now, it's just magical. This is why we have chosen to stay in Assisi. Because once all the day trippers have left, you have the whole town to yourself. Our time in Assisi and Umbria has come to the end. The history, the culture, the food, it all added up to a great trip. If you haven't been to Umbria yet, you absolutely should when you next come to Italy. Thanks for watching this video today. This has been Ken from Ken Travels 360. I've visited many other Italian places in the last few months. So why don't you watch another video for my Italian travels by clicking here. See you over there. Ciao.